G'day again, welcome back to Dad vs Son with Bob the Cat. And we're about to go on again with our Aces of Valor campaign, 1915 I'm calling it, with our Tier 1 Germans, currently against the Commonwealth forces, the Tommies, and we are doing a trench strafing run on, excuse me, I'm even boring myself now, on sectors D through F, and we have 4 pilots for this, 4 aircraft. We have Manfred, Ernst, Erich, and Franz. So let's get into it. So first up, let me get some crap out of the way. Damaged aircraft, we have none. So we're going to be up to moving. Sorry, just give me a tick. Back again. Sorry about that. It was the call of the wild, pussycat. Righto, so off we go. We're going to head straight across. We move our turn mission track, and we roll up for flight events. 11s and 12s are bad. And we get 2, nothing happening. Moving west. And still nothing. We're rolling doubles, which is interesting. Well, to me anyway. Okay, and a 9, no. And we get into our trench zone. So now it's a 9 to 12. Nothing happening. And we move into our first mission objective. So again, first thing is the flight event. A 9, we have a flight event. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I didn't move the turn track. Sorry, the mission turn track. Okay, so first thing is the flight event. And the flight event in trenches will be a 7, which is enemy fighters. Ooh, okay, let's see how many enemy fighters. 3. 1 die 6 equals them. Yep. Okay. So we have enemy fighters. Let's see what we end up with. 1, 2, and 3. So we have Donald, who's a 0-1. We have Andrew, who's a 1-0. And we have Billy back. Oh, he's not happy that the skirmish with Manfred was a no-show. So a 2-2 for there. Righto. Next thing we have is anti-aircraft fire. And we get a 4, which is a light. So 1 die against each of our aircraft. So Manfred, nothing. Ernst, no. Erich, no. And Franz, no. Righto. So then we have our die 3 ground targets. We have 1 ground target. And that ground target in these trenches will be a 4, which is advancing infantry, which is an initiative 2. So we'll chuck that there, and we will come back over this way. Okay. So first thing we're going to have to do is the detection check. Moved it too far over, sorry. And we have a 4 for the detection check. So let me just go back to that. We have a +2, they have a +2, so that goes out. There's no 2-seaters, so that's it. We have a 4. Enemy spots you and attacks if equal or greater force. No, they're not. Otherwise, enemy evades, no combat. So the enemy flies away. That was a bit cowardly of them. Well, Probably smart. So then it's our people come down. And let's see what we're going to get. Okay, Manfred, 6 plus 2 is 8, and 5 is 13. Ernst, 6 plus 2 is 8, and 2 is 10. Eric, 6 plus 1 is 7, and 1 is 8. And Franz, 6 straight, plus 3 is 9. So a fair spread there. Okay, so first things first is we have Manfred attacking. So we have 2 anti-aircraft artillery against him, which miss. Okay, Manfred is a 13 to 2, is an 11 for a straighting attack, which should give him 3 die. And he's plus 2 on these die. So that gives him a 6 plus, a 6 plus, and a 4. So 2, 4, 5 potential hits. Come on, Manfred. And he gets 4 hits. And the enemy infantry is, advancing infantry is damaged. Next up is Ernst. We have 1 AAA against him, which does nothing. Ernst is a 10 to 2 is 8, which is 2 die, and he is plus 1, which gives him a 5, which is 1 potential hit, and he misses. They scooted out of the way. Franz is next. AAA does nothing. He is a 9 to 2 is a 7 for 2 die, straight up, and misses. These guys are ducking and weaving all over the place. And lucky last is Eric. 1 AAA. Ooh, it's a 6. Does it get him? No, it doesn't. And Eric attacks. He is an 8 to 2 is a 6, which is 2 die. And he's plus 2. Oh, that gives him 4 potential hits. Can he knock him out in one go? And he does. And the advancing infantry is destroyed. Can he upskill? Not quite. So he comes back over. And we come back over here. And we're back. And we go with our current flight back into Sector E now. And we do our flight event. A 5, nothing happens. We do our anti-aircraft fire. It's a 1, no anti-aircraft fire, so we see how many targets there are. And there are 3 we've rolled, so there are 2 ground targets. The first one is a 4, which again is advancing infantry, which is a 2 initiative. And the other is a 5, which is advancing infantry as well. So we have 2 advancing infantry, and we come back over again. And we set out our fighters. So we have Manfred, 6 plus 2 is 8. Plus 2 is 10. That wasn't real flash. Ernst, 6 plus 2 is 8. Plus 3 is 11. Not much better. Eric, 6 plus 1 is 7. And 1 is 8. Not good. And Franz, 6 straight. Plus 4 is 10. Okay. So we'll attack this first infantry here. So we have 2 anti-aircraft fire against Ernst. And they both miss. Ernst is an 11 to 2 is a 9, which gives him 2 die. And he's a plus 1 to these. So that gives him a 6 and a 7, so that's 4 potential hits. And he gets 3 hits. Not bad, not bad at all. And he climbs away. Next we have Manfred coming in. AAA fires up and misses. He is a 10 to 2 is an 8. 2 rolls. 2 die, plus 2s. And he gets 4 potential hits as well. Oh, and he only gets 2 of them, which takes it up to 5, and this guy is now down. And Manfred pulls up. Next into the fray is Franz against the damaged infantry. And the AAA does nothing. He gets 2 die again. No modifiers. And gets 2 potential hits. And one of them strikes home. And he flies off as well. And last is Eric. The AAA rises to him and does nothing. Again, he gets 2 die, plus 2. Oh, 4 potential hits there. And 2 of them strike home, which destroys the advancing infantry. We'll get rid of that. And does Eric, upskill, and he does not. And we go to combat round 2, and we do a combat event check. And it is 5, which is enemy aircraft remain, but there aren't any. So our aircraft climb back up into position with Manfred first. 8 plus 3 is 11. Ernst, 8 plus 3 is 11. Eric, 7 plus 2 is 9. And Franz, 6 plus 2 is 8. And the infantry fires up at Manfred with 2 AAA, 1 potential hit. And it misses. And we are 11 to 2 is 9. 2 dice for Manfred. Excuse me. Plus 2s. Which gives him 2 potential hits. And only one of them hits. And Manfred climbs away. Next in is Ernst. And the black and white puffs come up and do nothing. And he dives into the attack, and he is a plus 1, which gives him 2 potential hits. And one of them hits. We now have 2 hits, and he climbs away. Next is Eric. AAA comes up and misses him. Eric gets 2 die and is plus 2, which gives him 4 potential hits. Can he knock them down to damaged? And he gets 2 hits, which knocks them down to damaged. And this becomes oops, wrong one. This becomes a 4. 4 hits, and Eric flies away. And then last, we have Franz coming down into 1 AAA, which does nothing. He again gets 2 die, but no modifiers, and gets 2 potential hits with his 5s. And they both miss, and he climbs back up as well. And we go to the 3rd combat round. Excuse me. We do our combat event check, a 5. Again, no enemy aircraft, doesn't affect us. And our aircraft climb back up, ready to attack. Manfred, 8 plus 1 is 9. He didn't climb very high at all. Ernst, 8 plus 5 is 13. He wants a big swoop down. Eric, a 7 plus 5 is 12. And Franz, is he going to be a wingman for Manfred? 6 plus 6 is 12. And he said, stuff him. Glory hound. Okay, so the first one it is Ernst. remembered to move my turn track down because of fuel for this. AAA comes up at Ernst, 1 die, nothing happening. And Ernst is a 13 to 2 is an 11, gives him 3 die. He's a +1 on these, which gives him a miss. 2 hits, potentially. And he gets 2 hits, taking it up to 6 of 8. And climbs away. Next up is Eric. AAA comes up and explodes beside his aircraft, but doesn't do any damage. He attacks with 2 die. And he's +2 on these. And the first one does nothing. The other one gives him 2 potential hits. Can he take it out? And he does. And the advancing infantry is destroyed. And we roll for Eric to see if he's going to upskill. And he does not. And our planes come back down. And we've completed our second targeted zone. And we come to the third, which is just down here a little bit, which you can't see, but that's fine. And we move down into the third objective. And we do our flight event check. A 9. There is a flight event check. Let's see what happens. It's a 7 in trenches. Is enemy fighters. Roll a d6. And we have 4 enemy fighters. Okay. So let's see what we've got. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, they're all zeros. Henry, Frank, Robert, and Tom, all 0 zeros. We then do the anti-aircraft fire. It's a 6, so that's 3 die against each of our aircraft. Let's just bring it over here. Okay, so for Manfred, 1 potential hit. And it misses. Ernst is next. No hits. Eric, no hits. And Franz, no hits. Then we work out how many ground targets there are, and we get a 4, which is 2 potential ground targets, or 2 ground targets. The first one is a 10, which is an artillery battery. Where did you go? Here we go. An artillery battery. So it goes into 2, and the other is a 8, entrenched infantry, which goes into the 3 initiative. Next thing we have to roll for is the detection check, and we get an 11. Okay, so we have an 11. We have a +2 for our best skill. Makes it 13. We surprise the enemy and +2 to our initiative in the first round. Okay. So let's come on over. We'll put us out first. So +2 is, we have Manfred on 6, +2 is 10. +5 is 15. Ernst, 10. +4 is 14. Eric, 8. +4 is 12. And Franz, 8. +3 is 11. And then we put out the enemy aircraft. Robert, 6. +4 is 10. Henry, 6. +5 is 11. Frank, 6 plus 1 is 7. And Tom, 6 plus 2 is 8. Right. Oh. So Manfred first is going to attack Henry. He's at 1, 2, 3, 4 for air to air. Let's get it back over to air at 4. Gets 3 die and is plus 2 to his rolls, which gives him 2 hits, 4 hits. So 1 die plus 3. Oh, and shoots him down in flames. And does Manfred upskill? And he does not. And he climbs back up. Next up is Ernst after Robert, and he's at 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, he gets 3 die, and he is plus 2 to his rolls. So this becomes 2, 3, 4. Excuse me. So 1 die plus 3. 3 and 3 is 6, and Robert is damaged. And Ernst climbs away. Next up is Eric going after Robert. At 1, 2, gets a 2 die. He's plus 1, which gives him 2, 3 hits. So 1 die plus 2. And that's a 7, which hits Robert and shoots him down. And does Eric upskill? He does not. And Eric climbs away. And last is Franz against Tom. And he's at 1, 2, 3, which gives him 3 die, no modifiers. And he gets 1, which does absolutely nothing, and he flies away. And these two come down here. And we go to combat round 2. We look at our combat event, and it's a 2, which means more of them. 1 die 6 of enemy fighters. Okay. 2 more enemy fighters show up. And we have Edward, who's a 2-1. And we have Donald, who's a 0-1. Okay. So now we have 4 enemy fighters against our 4 fighters. Go back to step 1 of combat sequence. Okay, so we have to do a detection check again. No, combat sequence. We just go straight into it. Okay, so let's put them out first. So Edward is an 8, plus 2 is a 10. Donald is a 6, plus 5 is 11. Frank is a 6, plus 4 is a 10. And Tom is a 6, plus 1 is a 7. Excuse me. Righto, Manfred is an 8, plus 1 is a 9. That's disgusting. Ernst is an 8, plus 4 is 12. Eric is a 7, plus 1 is 8. And Franz is a 6, plus 2 is an 8. So we're really going after the ground targets this time. Okay, so first up is Ernst against Donald. It's only 1 difference, so he gets 2 die plus 2s, which gives him 4 potential hits. 1 die plus 3. That's 7, which Donald is now damaged. And Ernst flies away. Next up is Donald after Manfred. He's at 1, 2, gets 2 die. No modifier, looking for 5s or more. And does nothing and flies away. Next is Edward against Manfred. Gets 2 die plus 2s. So that is 2 hits because we're using the inferior guns. 2 potential hits. 1 die plus 1. A 4 and a 1 is a 5, does nothing, and Edward flies away. Frank then goes after him. 2 dice, no modifiers. Gets 1 potential hit. I should have used his dice. Nothing happens. Frank flies away. So now we have Manfred against Tom. Again, 2 die plus 2s, which gives him 2 potential hits. 1 die plus 1. 5 plus 1 is 6, and Tom is damaged. Manfred climbs. Next is Eric. 2 die plus 1s. Gets 1 potential hit. It's a 5, does nothing, and he climbs away. Next up is Franz. 2 die, no modifiers. Oh, and gets 4 potential hits, so 1 die plus 3. 3 and 3 is 6, and Tom is shot down. Does Franz get upskilled? And he does not. And he flies away. And we go to number 3. So down with the turn track again. And we put our aircraft back out. So we have Edward, who is an 8. Plus 5 is 13. He's getting a bit peeved. Frank, who's a 6. Plus 4 is 10. And Donald, who is damaged, is a 4. Plus 5 is 9. And then our aircraft, Manfred, 8. Plus 5 is 13. Ernst, 8. Plus 3 is 11. Eric, 7. Plus 4 is 11. And Franz, 6. Plus 5 is 11. Wow. Okay, so first up is Manfred against Frank. 13 to 10 is 3. Gives him 3 die plus 2s. I didn't do the event, did I? Sorry. 8-1. Doop. 10. All enemy aircraft depart. So goes, and goes. Righto. So we're just attacking down into the entrenched here. Okay. So 13 to 3 is 10 for a strafing attack. Is 2 die plus 2s. Which gives us a 6, and a 5 is 3 potential hits. But first we need to do the anti-aircraft fire against Manfred, and nothing happens. Okay, 3 potential hits. And we have 1 hit. We've got to destroy this guy this turn, or at least damage him. Right, next is Eric. He's got the best attack value for ground targets. So 2 enemy AAA do nothing. He is an 11 to 3 is an 8, which gives him 2 die. And he's plus 2s, which gives him 4 potential hits. And 2 of them miss, so we get 2 hits on. He's up to 3 hits. And Eric flies away. Next up is Ernst. AAA comes up to him and bursts away from him, which is good. He's 11 to 3 is 8. 2 die, he's plus 1. which gives him 3 potential hits. And he gets 1, which takes it up to 4 and damages them. And Ernst flies away, which leaves us with the anti-aircraft fire coming up against Franz, and it misses. And Franz gets 2 die, no modifiers, and misses. And we are going to fly away. So this guy is just damaged. And we can put that away. We're not going to hang around. The artillery battery can go away. None of our planes are damaged, so we're just going to head home. So we're going to move to Sector F. Now, first off, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I don't forget. Move the track, bring it up to date. Okay, looking flight event, 9s and up, nothing happens. We move back over, move the track, flight event 11, 12, oh, nothing there. Let's move up to the balloon, flight event, not quite. Just going up there, having a look at our trench lines, doing a little bit of patrol on the way home. No event. Moving towards our airfield. 11s and 12s. No. That's a lot of double 1s I've rolled. Move the track. Flight event. An 11. We have a flight event. And it is going to be number 3 in the friendly rear. Enemy raid. Okay. So D2 of 2-seaters is 2 2-seaters. So let's grab them. 1 and 2. And we have a 0, 0 and a 0, 1. So that doesn't really affect us. That's good. And then we have D3 plus 1 fighters. That's 3 plus 1 is 4 fighters. Okay. And we have Philip a 0, 0. Edward a 2, 1. Frank a 0, 0. And Donald a 0, 1. Okay, so let's bring them over. And then we can do our detection check. And we have a 10. We've got +2, they've got -2, so that's out. So 10, but they have a 2-seater, is an 11. We surprise them, and we get +2 to initiative. Or do we fly home? No, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. So we'll put us out first. So we have Manfred on a 10. +2 is 12. Of course you can't. No, I didn't roll the right dice, sorry. 10 +3 is 13. Ernst is 10. +5 is 15. Eric is a 8. +3 is an 11. And Franz is an 8. Oh, sorry, he was 7, 8, 9, 6, 7, 8, 9. So he's a 12. And an 8 +4 is a 12. Right. So putting out the enemy now. So the best one is Edward, who is an 8. +2 is a 10. Next one would be Donald, who is a 6. plus 1 is 7. Frank, who's a 6, plus 6 is 12. Philip, a 6, plus 4 is 10. Then the two-seaters, they're both 4s. First one is a 10. And next one is a 10. Ah! Okay. I'm just knocking over my destroyed advancing infantry. Right, so first up is going to be Ernst, who's going to be attacking Frank. So it's a 1, 2, 3, which is 3 die. And he is plus 2s, which gives him 6 hits. So 1 die plus 5. 5 and 5 is 10, and Frank goes down in flames. Does Ernst upgrade? And he does. He upskills. He's now a plus 3 for air and a plus 2 for ground. Okay, next up is Manfred. And of course, he's going to go after Edward, the best fighter. So again, 1, 2, 3 is 3 die. Plus 2s, which gives him 2, 3, 4 hits, potentially. 1 die, plus 3. 4 and 3 is 7, and Edward is damaged. And Manfred flies away. Next up is Eric, who's at 2 for 2 die, plus 1 against Edward. That's 2, 3 potential hits, so 1 die plus 2. 5 and 2 is 7, and Edward is shot down. So we need a 4 or better for Eric to upskill, and he does. They're feeling their oats, these boys. And last is Franz, who has to go after the other fighter. So again, 2 die, no modifiers. And misses. You got all excited. So these guys, we go up to combat round 2. We do the combat event check, and we get a 9. And a 9, we're in the friendly rear, becomes a 10. All enemy aircraft depart. So these guys fly away home. Okay, so we can come back over this way again. And we move to our home airfield. We do our flight event check. And it's another 11. What do we got? A 4 for a flight event check. In the friendly rear is a enemy raid again. Okay, so die 2 two-seaters. We get 2 two-seaters again. We get 1 and we get 2. Oh, and they're both good. We've got a 1-2 and a 1-1. Okay. And then die 3 plus 1 fighters. 1 plus 1 is 2 fighters. Not real flash. Get 1. Alfred, a 0-0. And Raymond, a 1-2. We do the detection check. And we have a 6. We are a plus 3, which makes 9. They have a 2-seater, makes 10. And they are -1 for their air skill. So that makes a 9. All told, We spot the enemy first. We can engage or evade. +1 initiative. We're going for it. Okay, +1 initiative for us. So first up, we have Ernst now, who is a +3, so that's 9, and +2 is 11, +4 is 15. We have Manfred, who is a 10, +5 is 15. We have Eric, who is an 8, 10, +5 is 15. And we have Franz, who is an 8, +2 is 10. So Franz must have been the first one going into land. Okay, enemy. Raymond is a 7, +3 is 10. Alfred is a 6, +1 is 7. Two-seater. First one is a 5, +3 is 8, and the other is a 5, +2 is 7. So it looks like we got these guys on the hop. Right. Oh, first up is our bestest person, which is Ernst. He's at 5 for air to air, which gives him 4 die, and he is +3 to his die. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8. So 1 die +7. That's 8. Excuse me. Which shoots down Raymond. Straight up. Is he going to become an ace? Raymond was a 1. So we need a 5. No. And he flies away. Next is Manfred? Yeah. Manfred, who is going after a 2-seater. So the 2-seater is going to shoot first. At 5, 6, 7 is 1 die, +1. A 4 does nothing. So 7 for Manfred is 5 die, and he is +2s on this. So that's a miss. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8 again. 1 die +7. Wow. Yep. 7 and 3 is 10, and the 2-seater goes down in flames. Will Manfred go up? We need a 5. We do, and Manfred is upskilled. Next up is Eric against Alfred in the fighter, and he is at 15 to 7 is 8, plus is 5 die. And he is a +2. That's a miss. Again, 2, 4, 6, 8. So 1 die +7. And Alfred is shot down. And we need a 6 to upskill, and we don't get it. So he stays at skilled. And then we have Franz. The 2-seater is 3 away, which gives him 3 die. He needs 5s, 4s or better because he's a +1. Okay, so he gets 2 potential hits. So 1 die +1 does nothing. And 3 away is 3 die for Franz. No modifiers. And he gets 2, 3. So 1 die +2. No, and he doesn't do anything. And Franz goes there. And the two-seater comes down, and we go to combat round 2. And we do the combat event check. And it is a 7. In the friendly rear is an 8. Friendly airfield space is a 9. All enemy aircraft depart. So the two-seater departs. And we land. So the first thing we do is our post-mission event. Senior pilot reassigned. One of your experienced leaves the squadron to command his own unit. Randomly select one aircraft with an air skill of +1 or more and remove it from play. Immediately draw a replacement at the same tier at no cost. Receive VPs equal to the removed pilot's skill. Okay, so +1s is going to be Ernst, Manfred, or Eric. Everybody else is a 0. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5, 6, Eric goes. And we get VPs equal to his air skill, which is 2, so 2 VPs. Eric goes away over there. And I'll put our 2 VPs up, which takes us to 10. Right, and our other 2 people fly off home, and we have 6 pilots left. So we get to the MPs. Righto, so each enemy fighter destroyed. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus their air skill. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 for fighters. 10 MPs. And we'll move that up to there. Each enemy two-seater destroyed, we had 1, is 3 MPs. 3 mission points to 13. And then it's ground targets. So we have 3, 6, 9, and a damaged is 10 more, which takes us up to 23 mission points. So let's get these counters out of the way, and then we can decide what we're going to do with all this stuff. Okay, 23 mission points. We need 2 more aircraft. So we can purchase 4 VP for 15. So we are going to do that. So we go from 23 down to 8. We get 4, which takes us up to 14 victory points. We have 8 left. We can replace aircraft. We can replace 2 aircraft. Again, we're not upgrading because I'm calling this 1915, so we can't upgrade, okay? So, 2 replacement aircraft. 1, 2. And we have Kurt, who's a 00, and we have Oswald, a 00. So we now have 6 00s. And we have Ernst, who's a 3-2. And we have Manfred, who's a 3-3. Okay. Okay, so that is all done. We can't spend any more of the mission points. So we can go on to setting up for the next mission. So let's come on over. I know this is a bit long, but it's easier for me to set up right at the start. So we're going to be going on to mission 6, which will be artillery spotting, 3 fighters and a 2-seater. Direct artillery in a random enemy trench sector. Roll 2 die 6, and it's 4. 2 to 4 is A. Okay, so we're going to be doing our artillery spotting there. Okay, conduct up to 3 attempts. Done. And the weather, please be clear, please be clear. Oh, it's not, it's heavy clouds, which makes it a -2 to our spotting. Okay, well, that also affects the AAA as well, so that's good. Okay, so we have 3 fighters and 1 2-seater. Let's get our 2-seater first. Get that back out of the way. Grab our 2-seater, and it will be that one. And it is a 1-1. And 3 fighters. Who are we going to take? We need to protect it, but we also need to get our other people skilled up a bit as well. But this is important. And it's going to take us, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to get there. 16 to get back minimum. Okay. I think we'll take Ernst, who's a +3. And we will take Bruno, who's a 0. And we'll take Oswald, who's a 0. So that gives us, a little bit of a push. And we'll see what happens. So that's that. That's who we're taking with us on our next mission. So again, thanks very much for watching. I hope I haven't made too many mistakes, and I'll catch you next time. Bye for now.